So former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo joins me now. He also served as CIA director and is a Fox News contributor. Welcome, Secretary. As always.
It's great to be with you, Martha.
So let's talk a little bit about this. So this UN vote, the United States said they would abstain on a ceasefire vote. They did not vote against it and veto it. And that was seen as a pretty strong signal in Israel. Here's what John Kirby said when he was asked about it. Let's watch.
Does not represent a change at all in our policy. It's very consistent with everything that we've been saying we want to get done here. And we get to decide what our policy is. It seems like the Prime Minister's office is choosing to create a perception of daylight here when they don't need to do that.
I mean, it sure feels like there's a lot of daylight, Secretary Pompeo, and it's increasing all the time, getting brighter all the time, you could say.
Yeah, no, it's a sunny day. There's a lot of daylight there. Big gap, Martha. Most importantly, Kirby knows better. He knows this was escalation. You are either on the side of Hamas or you're on the side of the Israelis. Either you are prepared to allow the Israelis to do the necessary to destroy Hamas, or you can abstain and say, no, we're going to demand that there be a ceasefire. I always think about this, Martha, in terms of how the other actors will respond to this. Hamas, when they saw the abstention, were thrilled. The Chinese Communist Party, happier than heck. The Russians, happier than heck. The Iranians, absolutely beyond themselves, thrilled that the United States of America refused to stand up for its ally. I think that's so telling. That's very risky for every American when you see the United States walk away from its long-term strategic ally and friend in the Middle East.
You know, you look at the political pressure on the White House when it comes to this. They see protesters everywhere they go. They're increasingly concerned about what's going to happen in Chicago at their convention this summer with protesters who are in favor of this ceasefire and want the administration to really call clearly for this. Kamala Harris on this Sunday show on ABC on This Week, here's what she said. Watch.
It would be a mistake to move into Rafah with any type of military operation.
Are you ruling out that there would be consequences from the United States?
I am ruling out nothing.
So militarily, sir, does Israel have to go into Rafah? Could they do it in a more sort of pinpoint way? What do you think about the way that they're handling this?
Well, two thoughts on this, Martha. The first is the Israelis get their own independent judgment on that. In spite of what Mike Pompeo or Vice President Harris might think, they have concluded that the most effective way to protect their own sovereignty and their own security is to plan an operation to deliver security for their own people. I've heard no one, including Vice President Harris, provide an alternative theory. How is it that you root out these terrorists who raped and killed and maimed on October 7th and who continue to threaten to do so? How is it that you get them if you can't go chase them out of the cubby holes that they're hiding in under civilians? To see the United States walk away from Israel in this way, to see the vice president suggest somehow to threaten the Israelis if they just do the simple task of defending their own nation and their own people is something I've not seen in a long time in the United States. It is deeply abhorrent to me, and it presents enormous risk to the region, not just the Israelis, Martha, but the Gulf states who can see Tehran's hand behind this, and the United
100%.
States of America.
100%. One very quick question for you. There is a proposal that's been discussed, a trade of 800 Palestinian prisoners, including 100 who were convicted murderers, 40, maybe that's the number, remaining hostages in Israel. What do you think of that deal? And do you think this hostage negotiation is going anywhere?
In the end, I'll leave to the Israelis the best decision, but to give up people who have murdered Israelis in exchange to get back innocent civilians seems like an awful stretch to me.
Secretary Mike Pompeo, thank you as always. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Martha. Have a good day.
You as well.